Hello, my name is Tara. Thank you for joining. In this video, I'm going to be sharing some information around our belief system and energy and beliefs that have been stored within our body since possibly childhood that do affect our relationship with the world, the relationship with ourselves, the relationship with others, and of course, our body. So you may have caught a video that I published not too long ago. It was on Instagram, but I did publish it here on YouTube as well, where I did a live on opening up the book of Michael Lincoln, Messages from the Body. Now, this is a practice that I use with people. I've used it on myself for the last 2 years, and it's a very rare practice. I've only known one other person who practices this, and it was the woman who worked on me for almost 2 years. So the reason why I'm talking about this is because this practice is so effective and it goes right to the root. And I'm very passionate about this work because if anything will go right to the root cause of emotions, of beliefs, of mental state, of the law of attraction, what we're attracting in our outer world, what we're creating in our outer world because of the energy we have within us or because of our belief system we have in us, it is this work. And that is why I am very passionate about it and I believe in it a lot because it is all about going to the root cause. Now, when I talked about this book on Instagram and then on YouTube here, I did mention that anyone can really buy the book, and anyone can. It's available for anyone to purchase. The only thing is that it needs to be used properly. It needs to be used with intuitive work and from a healer's perspective. So for myself, the way I use this book and how I was taught as well through my mentor and another healer was through intuitive practice. So there are many underlying effects and causes within our body that are connected from what we've experienced throughout life. And the energy moves within us. So a lot of these energies, a lot of these stored belief systems, it takes a lot of time to go within to find the source, but also the connected sources as well, or the connectors to that particular either ailment or belief system. So I'm going to break it down. So the belief system, and you may have caught me on other videos talk about this before as well. We all have particular belief systems that have formed throughout our life, mostly from childhood. I'm going to keep it within this lifetime, some from past life as well, yes, but I'm going to keep it here. So from childhood, we have formed belief systems that have been part of the way we operate in this world. It reflects our relationships. It reflects how we see and perceive ourselves. It reflects in the level of success that we can create or not create. It can definitely attract certain relationships, and it can subconsciously, unconsciously create our world without us even realizing. So a lot of the things that we've experienced in our past, we can't relive a lot of those situations. So some of you, if you notice, maybe you've attracted someone who reminds you of your dad or your mom, or the dynamics between those relationships, or keep attracting situations that happen over and over and over again, or not being able to get ahead, or not being able to break barriers or feel confident in doing something different. Those are all part of your programming. Those have been with you your whole life. Now, this book and this work that I do is very, very crucial for belief systems and the body. And I'm going to separate the two, but they're very much connected. So our belief system basically forms how we operate. It is a very unconscious way of living because we end up operating on programmed mode where we just habitually know how to deal with certain situations or operate in the day-to-day. Is kind of when the mind is off and you just do what you've been doing your whole life, for example, or do what you've been doing for years. So that comes from mostly childhood, but from also life, just things that we've gone through, things that we've created, that we've experienced, even traumas, situations. But a lot of it comes from childhood because we tend to keep repeating a lot of these same things. I'm going to keep it in this lifetime because there is some past life attached to this as well, but I'm trying not to complicate this, so I'm going to keep it into this time frame. So with regards to the childhood, a lot of people may have reservations from doing this work because we don't want to think that we've had a bad childhood. Who don't? And I get that. We don't want to come down on our parents or think negatively around our parents or how they raised us because we know that everyone is doing the best that they can. However, a lot of this does come from the way that we were raised or the environment that we were in. from our peers, even from school eventually as well, just growing up in life and starting to absorb and observe different patterns and the way people act, the way people perceive, and starting to lose ourselves in that system, if you will, or in those experiences. What we've gone through in our life is our story. And we need to go back there to understand what belief systems we have within us that is either preventing us from love, preventing us from success, preventing us from living fully and freely, and preventing us from creating the life we truly desire. We may run into mood swings or really like hard energy or putting so much pressure on ourselves, or running into problems after problems after problems, having anger, resentment, whatever it is. We've all gone through this in some way. So we all have a history. And like I said, there's nothing wrong with your parents or growing up the way that you did or the way that you were raised. In order to change today, we have to go into the past. And it takes a lot of courage to do this work and the ability to say, okay, this is just who I am and this is what I've experienced and I'm ready to go into it. I'm ready to explore it, to make the change happen. And when I went into this work, I was so impressed and so shocked actually at how real this work is and how it goes straight to the point. And we need to go right to the root cause. We need to go right to the source in order to make that real change. And for myself, I have been going to retreats. I've done ayahuasca. I've gone to meditation retreats. I've done all sorts of spiritual work, you name it, for 15 years. For 15 years, manifestation, it wasn't until I did this work with, of course, the Moon Manifestation Program that I mention often, when everything really, really changed for me. But it had to start from the inside out. It had to start from me addressing some of the root causes. And yes, in the book, there are a lot of phrases in the book that are very direct. Some might find it offensive. However, you need to hear the truth in order to move on. So there are things that you know that may have been pushed aside or embedded in your subconscious that you just need to hear in order to release. You need to address and feel it and connect with it in order for it to release. It's very similar to the tarot. If you've been wondering about life or in your past trying to heal from something or have uncertainty or have lack of clarity, when you have clarity, you can move on. You get to move on and you get to let it go. And then you evolve and then you move towards something better. That's what it does. It allows you to get your life back. It allows you to release energies and experiences of the past. And that's the belief system. So the belief system is very much tied to our experiences of the past, but we store it and we might not be able to reach it subconsciously until you do this work, until you get guided through it. You can do part of the work on your own with this book, but like I said, you have to have very intuitive experience to find all the sources and the connectors. And it might take months or years. I've been doing this for 2 years myself. At the very beginning, when I first started, I noticed big change. And then it was more gradual. A lot of maintenance is basically what I'm doing now. Now, the body part of it. Now, this is a big part and a big aspect, and it's difficult to communicate this and say, hey, this work can actually heal your body. It's difficult because we're not used to doing this work. We're used to a system. We're used to a system that's going to help us out. But then we go into the system, we get treated, we get medicated, or even maybe get mistreated or misdiagnosed because we need to go to the root cause. There's energy within us. There's a belief system that we hold on to. We've held on to all of our lives, and it gets triggered from the outside world. Situations that we've gone through in the past, like grief, shame, guilt, anger, resentment, and fear and criticism, have all been stored within our body and shapes our perceptions, and then also reflects in how we treat others or we perceive the outside world. Or if we harbor it within our body and we hold on to it, then when we have a situation in the outside world, it will trigger that energy or that belief, and then it turns into a disease, an ailment, an ache, or a pain. Many things. And for myself, I have had little situations show up in my body, like a knee pain or an ankle pain or a headache. And I will go to the book and I will use my intuitive guidance to find what I need to hear, and it's gone just like that. And I can get on with my day. And we all have memories stored in our bodies. We've been holding on to this for our whole life. And yes, it does work. It's not wacky woo-woo stuff. It is the legitimate source of information that we need to move on with our lives. And not many people know about this. And the reason why I'm so passionate about it, because I've seen it work. I've seen it work with other people. I've seen it and felt it work within myself. So as I mentioned, all the practice that I've done before, I have gone through so many things, and I felt that I've even had I've gone to psychologists before. I've done like so many different spiritual practices before in the past. Anything to help gain clarity on who I was, what I've been going through, all the traumas in my life, all the experiences in my life, and nothing really seemed to work. For a moment it did, but it didn't give me the effect that I was looking for of going straight to the source. I was always searching, I was still searching. Now I'm not searching, now I know. Now I know exactly what I needed to know, and now I'm at rest with it. I've been able to move on. I've been able to heal family dynamics. I've been able to heal myself, of course, relationships, and start to create the world that I want, the life that I want based on that. When you hold on to a lot of resentment or anger or fear or guilt or shame, and we hold on to a lot of guilt and shame also around family. If things have happened in the past, we might carry a lot of the situations that we've gone through because we don't want either other people to know, or we don't want ourselves to show that we've had situations happen in the past, but a lot of us have. It just was an experience, and it's time to move on from that. It's time to heal from it, and it's time to let it go. And the way that it is going to happen is through this work. So I am offering this work, of course. There are bundled offers for limited pricing if you are interested. So again, you can buy this book, you can do this work on your own, but if you don't have the intuitive guidance and you don't have the proper training with this book, then it might be limited. It might be a limited experience with this book because you'll only be able to get so far with it. Some people I know have taken months with this work. Myself, a couple of years, and I'll still keep going with it. I'll still keep fine tuning with it, just because it is nice to have on hand. You know, some days I'll fall into really intense moods. I'll fall into really intense anger. I'll fall into old beliefs or old memories of the past that I really just want to dissolve and want them to go away. So I'll go into the book and I'll release them. And it does help immensely. So I do hope this offers a little bit more information about the work that I'm doing, and especially with the messages from the body healing and energy clearing. It is part psychological, part energetic. When the mind gets to hear what it needs to hear, when your child self gets to hear what it needs to hear, it gets to move on. You get to release that old memory that's been stored in the body. It's like relief, basically. You get relief. You get this weight lifted off your shoulders in a way. You feel lighter. You're going to move through life easier. Things are going to change in ways also that you never expected. For me, there were a lot of subtleties that changed within my body, within my own energy, within my moods, within my perceptions, within my confidence, that I didn't even expect to happen through this work. But it's all connected. That's why this work is also a little bit complicated, because everything is connected. And we are also multidimensional beings. We have so many different layers and aspects to our existence. But by finding the source and finding all the connectors within, then you can really target what is going to give you long-lasting results, going straight to the source. All right, so I do hope that offers a little bit more information about what I do and this work especially, why I'm so passionate about it, and why it's so important. By going to the root cause, you will change everything. So until next time, I will be seeing you soon and wishing you all the best. Take care.